Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. Past episodes of the Authentic Business Adventures podcast can be found at the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. We're locally underwritten by the Bank of Sun Prairie. My name is James Kademan, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and helpful coach to small business owners across the country. Today, we're welcoming / preparing to learn from Pam and Paul Alex at Tintwork over in California. So Pam and Paul, how are you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm excited. I met you guys at this auto glass trade show where windshields and tint were just flying around like mad. All in good fun.
Place.
Yep.
So you guys have the tint business in California, which I imagine has to be a hotbed for people interested in tinting their windows to keep the sun out and the prying eyes out.
Oh yeah. It's a very busy industry out here. We can never get enough help. You know, there's never enough tinters to hand out here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So is tinting windows, is that a relatively new thing, like in the past, I don't know, decade or two, or has that been going on since Model T was up?
I've been tinting for 33 years already.
Have you really?
Yeah, I've been tinting forever. So tinting been around a long time. Every time they produce new cars, every time they have cars with no tint, I mean, it'll never run out unless we just get rid of all the cars.
All right. I don't see that happening too soon.
No time soon. We're not going back to buggies.
No. Horses are too grumpy, and the teleportation thing we're still working on.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, interesting. So tell me, when did you guys start this business, Tintwork?
Well, we've had several different businesses. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So Tintwork started about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And it's an app, and the Tintwork is a network of professional window tint installers that all share work with each other.
Oh, very cool.
That spawned from our individual tint businesses, you know, because Paul's been doing it, forever.
All right.
So we have Tint LA and Ad Outlook window tinting services, Santa Clarita window tinting. We even have Tint Vegas. So we have all these locations of mobile window tinting. And it got to the point where we're like, wow, we need help, you know? And
all right.
said, like, let's start an app. And I'm like, well, I don't think anybody's going to download an app just to, like, you know, get their car tinted and then not use the app for 3 years, you know what I mean, until they change it in. I said, but if we do kind of like Uber for the window tinting industry, now you're onto something, you know? So we just started bouncing ideas off of each other. We're like, you know, we get so much work. There doesn't need to be any competition. Why don't we just share the work with each other? Because some days our friends were crazy busy and we were dead, and vice versa. Other days we're like turning down customers left and right. And, you know, we talk to our buddy, it's like, I was dead yesterday.
But the thing is, you have to change the mindset of old guys that's in the window tint business. You know, they have the shops. They want, if they don't get the work, they don't want to send it nowhere else.
Sure.
You know, if you got, so we just trying to bring new technology, in starting off in California, then we hit Vegas, and we trying to franchise around the United States. But with the mindset of making money without you even doing the work has to change. So we're in a slow process, but so far we're being successful at it out here in LA. You know, a lot out here in LA. So it's doing really well.
So how many tint shops did you have? Or do you have right now?
Well, we have like satellite locations now. We had a tent shop, a physical tent shop. Yeah. In El Monte, but what happened? People start calling and saying, "Can you come to my house? Can you come to my job? Can you come to my office?" And be like, "Wait a minute here. We're wasting money at the shop. The shop is good because you can monitor, you know, the dust and everything. But we have a technique." Well, I have a technique because I'm a professional mobile window tinter that you can use and still have the same quality work. And that's my goal, is to teach tinters how to have the same quality work as you do in a shop. All right. It's a way to do that.
Okay.
You see, you can create the car itself as a shop.
All right.
So that's, you know, that's what we trying to the point we're trying to get to right now. You know, we'll be there soon.
All right. It's interesting because I live in Wisconsin. So our weather's a little bit different from California. 11 and a half months out of the year.
Yeah.
There's about a 2-week period where we're like, this is nice. I'm glad we live here.
Yeah, exactly.
Seasons, what are seasons?
Yeah, exactly.
And then reality kicks in and it's 30 below and you don't want to be tinting outside.
No, not at all.
You don't want to be doing anything outside.
But you can in that kind of weather cut the heater on in a car. You can cut the heater on in the car. Yeah, you can cut the heater on in the car, and it's a technique you can use just tinting inside the car. You don't have to really get out the car.
Wow. Okay, that's skill.
Other than when you just shrink in the back window, but everything else can be in the car. And that's what I figured out by doing trucks. I can take a roll of film, get in there, cut the heater on, and I can tint the whole truck as long as every window flat and get out and the window's done. All the windows done.
Wow.
You have to do stuff to be able to know it can happen. A lot of tinters, they stuck in a certain pattern, so they don't try nothing different. We would never have the California roll. We wouldn't have opposite roll, to roll the back window on to shrink it down if somebody wouldn't have tried. Yeah. We would still been cutting the strips, like 50 strips for a back window.
Oh, I remember those with the purple and the bubbles.
Exactly. So if somebody said, wait a minute, let me try to shrink this film here, and it worked, and they molded and it worked. So you have to continue on, being innovative.
All right.
Yeah, Paul's fearless. Yeah,
I just try.
All sorts of different things.
If I mess up a car, I just pay for the customer. Here you go. Just pay for the back window. If I break the back window, okay, I'll get a new one back window. Because I got the money to do it.
Right.
But I can understand people who don't have the money to actually experiment. But,
I mentioned that's rare, breaking a window when you're tinting, though.
Yeah. You can't do it. You can't do it. I have did it before. I broke a front window on a BMW in the wintertime when I was heating it up.
Oh, gotcha. Because temperature difference.
It's broken. The customer, oh no, what you doing?
The glass is saying, what temperature do you want me to be at?
Exactly. I said, don't worry, call my glass guy. He came and put it in. I took care of the customer, gave the customer some extra, and the customer was happy.
Yeah. All right. It's just a game. I get it. I want to talk about window tinting in general.
Okay.
Because I've seen locally here over the past few years, I've seen some window tinting businesses come up for sale. And I'm always curious about what businesses are for sale, not necessarily to buy them, but just to learn, what are they selling? Are they selling a job, or are they selling an actual business? And I wondered about the training. This guy's trying to sell his business to somebody that will be taking over that presumably is going to have to know how to tint windows. How big of a learning curve is it for somebody that has never done it to someone that is now doing it professionally?
That's a very, very, very big curve. Okay. That's like going from basic math to algebra in 1 week.
Yeah.
Anyone can slap a sticker on a car, but to get the window and take the trim off without destroying it.
Oh yeah. If you had B-roll, I can send you a video of a guy sent me saying he know how to tint.
All right.
And then he just put it on there, and I was like saying this guy, so I had to put that information out there, and people like saying, Paul, what is this guy doing? What is he doing? But it's hard.
Yeah.
But you just can't you have to hire a professional tinter to come in there and help you.
All right.
You have to, and they sell, when a company sells their business, a window tint company, they selling you all the leads. They selling you the leads, and they selling you their customers.
Right.
But if you got a new guy in there trying to tint windows, and he ain't doing the same quality work, all those leads, all those customers ain't gonna be worth anything in about a year.
All right, because your reputation is gone.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
The minute you start getting a bunch of, bad reviews or whatever, then, forget it. Yeah. But Paul actually teaches classes as well. It's another thing that he does through the Tintwork. And he's an amazing mentor. He's super patient.
Yes.
But it's going to take a good, I'm always upfront with anybody who wants to take our classes. I'm always upfront with them. Like, don't expect to learn how to do this, and then tomorrow you're going to start making, over $100 a car. It's just not going to happen. So I usually tell them to expect, good, like if they're practicing full time, working, with him and all, could be a good 2-3 months before.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it can, on their own. But you got some companies, they do computer cut. So the computer cut helps the tinters because they can skip some of their skills. The cutting skills they can skip.
Which is a big skill.
Which is a big skill. So the main thing, they got to know how to shrink. You know, some it can take a while to learn how to shrink because you can crease the film, especially the back window. You know, you got to know how to roll it on without touching anything because you can get a lot of dirt in it. So those are things that they have to learn, and that's being patient with them, because a lot of students, they be afraid in front of me sometimes to mess up. I'm like, man, just do it, just act like I'm not here,
right?
You know, just act like I'm not here. So I leave and go somewhere, and I can still be watching them. But I go somewhere, and then they just try. Then they get more comfortable. When I come back, they like nervous. They're like, okay, because I'm doing. I say, just act like I'm not here.
Yeah,
sure. So it's more getting kind of the mechanics feel, so to speak. With film. Okay. So does that mean that if I have a window tint company, I want to hire a new employee, I'm having a rough time finding some people. So I find a guy that's personable, seems smart, all that jazz, and I want to train him from ground zero. It's going to take me a couple months to get him up to speed.
Yeah, it's going to take some. You got to get your plotter. So, because he might not know anything, you got to get your plotter, and you got to do computer cut.
Just speed things along. Otherwise, it could be 6 months.
Yeah, you get.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. And then once you get the plot and everything, then you have to pay a professional tinter to come in now and show this guy. You might be out another $2,000-$3,000, but the professional tinter, at least he can come. You pay to come over there, and he can teach that guy, and he'll catch up a little bit. And then you got certain cars you got to do. You can't do no Teslas Model 3s. You know, you can't do certain BMWs. You have to just do the simple cars.
Tell me why specifically with the Teslas and those BMWs.
Well, the Tesla Model 3 have the back window is at least about 54 by almost 60. So it's inches. Yeah. So it's huge. And you have to shrink it the opposite way and everything. So it just ain't gonna work. It just it just ain't gonna work. Hey, you just gonna be comic.
We have some veterans on our team that
they won't do it. You know, I'm doing all the Teslas. I did about 300 and some already,
I suppose you're in California, but you're talking, what is that, 5 feet or essentially almost 5 foot by 5 foot?
Yeah, exactly.
Does
massive.
film come that big?
Yeah.
You have to. Well, most of the time, tinters don't carry 60-inch rolls. Like we order them just for the Teslas because there's no need to have that big of a roll. Most of the time they don't want to manage that.
Didn't Elon get the memo about that?
I know. And this is when our app come in perfect. Tintwork.
All right.
Because you can just go to the app, or owner, and go to the app, and he can say, okay. And it lists what kind of cars the person can do and all that. So I want this guy to come teach him how to do this car, and the guy come, and you get a discount. You know, you go there and he can teach them how to tint. You know.
Well, no, they would. So in the tint work, they would actually, just outsource those jobs.
Work.
Gotcha.
So not necessarily. They're not hiring a techer to come in. Yeah, they're outsourcing the job.
Yeah, that's what I mean, outsourcing. But it's still a teacher. The guy still actually, he actually, if you watch him enough, you can still learn.
Well, when we're talking about mobile work, though, they usually just go do the job. It's not like they're watching over them.
Gotcha. Okay. So if I have James's Tint Emporium, and I see a job come in for a Tesla S, did you say, or which one?
No,
Model
3. Okay.
Yeah.
So I see this Tesla 3 come in, and I'm like, whoa,
right.
Jam. I can go on your Tintwork app, find somebody local-ish that has the skills to take care of that.
Yeah.
You get them to take care of the client. I make a nut on it. Client is happy. Other Joe Bob's Tintwork, whatever, that knows what they're doing there.
You're
gonna book it. You're gonna book it with your company name through our app.
All right. Yep.
So you get all the credit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The customer.
Hey!
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The customer.
Part of good business is being a good middleman. I love it. So
Customer will get a receipt with your company name, your phone number on it. Because it went through you. So then if you have any repeat business, say they get then a truck, they're, I could do a truck. Okay, cool. Then the next time they call for that next one, they're calling you. You can personally do that one. And then
they're getting that Tesla to offset the truck or vice versa.
Yeah. So, we share jobs. It's a job share app, work together. And then a lot of times too, location makes a big difference. Like that was another part of why we started it, because we had this shop out in La Puente, which it was like an hour drive for us, but it was a really good deal. So we thought, okay, let's try it for a year. But more people wanted mobile than the shop. We were just
gotcha. Okay.
money. You know, like I'd say probably 90% of our customers wanted mobile.
Shop,
you know,
wow.
so
Okay.
Mobile.
So it was like, well, we either sit bored at the shop and turn down all these mobile jobs, or we just get rid of the shop. But anyway, so now we're getting all these calls in this area that's an hour away that we don't want to be driving to because we're busy in the San Fernando Valley where, you know, we live. So then, and we had friends that we knew that were, you know, out there, and then vice versa. They were like, I don't want to come all the way to San Fernando Valley, you know, so it's north suburbs instead of south suburbs, you know, so we just started trading, and it just, you know, it worked great. So now the app just makes it so much easier to just, you know, have it pop up, and it'll just let you know whenever there's something in your area that you want to work in, because you could do a whole nother car in the time it takes you just to drive to a job.
Oh, sure.
You know? So, you know, especially with the traffic out here. Like,
windshield time is not paid time. So
no.
All right. Got it. So tell me, when you guys got this idea for the app, did you decide to code it, or did you outsource the coding, or how did that work?
Well, it's kind of everything works together. You know, a guy that I rented a room out to in my house, you know, from South Africa, he went to school with a guy, CSUN, and then and he introduced me to him, so we ended up becoming all friends. And then I went to school to do coding, right? And then I learned a lot about coding, not enough to do the app, but I learned a lot with how you got to structure everything. And so I told my wife about pseudo coding. So she the one actually wrote the app out step by step by step.
I became the app.
And she became the
app.
And she gave it to the coders to do that. And they like, wow, we never have nobody to actually write the app out for us. And
I had to map it out. Every page.
Everything out.
What does it say? How is it laid out? What does it do? If you click this button, then where does it go to? And it all just came from me manually doing it, calling up the tinters, you know, hey, can you do this one here? Can you do this one here? And then coming up with, okay, how can we get the app to do it instead of me?
Got it. Okay, so you're doing the manual process before, and then essentially proving the model. Then once you prove the model, then you can get the coders in there. And
it's a ridiculous amount of testing.
I bet.
3
hours
years,
and hours and hours. They change one little thing on this page, and somehow it changes it way over here with something that doesn't even seem related. Like it's mind numbing.
Paul's like, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy.
And that's how we got a really good deal. You know, apps cost a lot, 100,000 and up. You start dealing with stuff. You know, so I say if I go to school, you know, I meet all the guys that does the apps and the computers and the nerds, and I had to put some tape right here on my glasses. You know,
I love it. I love it.
I became the nerd too.
So the secret to get a deal on software is to go to school, you know, pay for the school, and then you get all the people that need some experience. You're like, hey, here we are. That's funny. I have a website for flower ordering. That's in the process of becoming an app. And that's time and money that I'm just tossing straight down the drain, because I have not taken the manual process to prove the model first. And it's whateverblooms.com, and it's set up so people can just order flowers based on price, not necessarily in what they get. So it's designed for guys like me that just don't care what's delivered. Like, we just trust the flower shop to know what they're doing. I'm not gonna grill you on sending whatever type of flowers. It's just not my jam. Just make it pretty.
And all the flowers.
She'll be happy.
Anyways,
it's the opposite. You know, it's got to be every tiny little detail.
I bet
is in there. Whether they have a garage, whether it would be in their driveway. We don't allow tinting on the street. I'm not there. I refuse. It's too dangerous for a car driving by.
Job history, everything. I mean, you income history, So if you want to know how much income you made in a month or a year, how much, what will you go to history of what kind of job?
Yeah.
I thought you were thinking income history of the customer. Like, what?
Oh, no. For the tinter,
based on the jobs and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. The tinter always knows where they're at, so they can see their financials on there. They can see their job history, how many jobs they did a month.
All right.
And then at the end of the year, for their taxes, they just, with a click of a button, it lets them know how many total jobs they did for the year and how much they made.
Yeah.
So just 1 second, their bookkeeping is done.
So tell me, from the tinters end, do they get a text message, or how do they get notified that they got a job, or I guess it would be a job offer, so to speak?
Yeah. They hear Tintwork. It's a little notification in the app, and then they pop it up, and it says whether there's a job available in their area, or whether they were actually assigned a job, or like whatever the case may be. And then they click on it, and it gives them all the details about what the year, make, and model of the car is, which windows, whether it's carbon or ceramic film, whether the customer has a garage or not, an electrical outlet to plug into, like the whole 9 yards. It lets them know the city, the zip code. It won't give the exact address or phone number of the customer for safety reasons until they actually accept the job. But even then, we mask the phone number to protect the referrer. So if you put the job in the app, we don't want the tinter just, calling the customer directly.
Don't go through Tintwork, go through me. I'll save you $5 or whatever.
Right. Yeah. So we mask the number, so they have to call through the app, but then they can click on the address. But then once the job is completed, the address, disappears. So they can't like go back to that customer later on or whatever,
Got it. All right.
Yeah, we have some things in place, but all the details are there. If they like, what they see, they want to take the job, then they just click job, it's theirs. And then you'll get a notification that your job was taken by someone, and it's scheduled for whatever time. You get a notification when the job ends, it's complete. So if you want to follow up with your customer, hey, how'd it go, whatever, you know exactly when he's finished. And
all right. So I have James's super awesome Tint Emporium. A client reaches out to me, let's just say phone call, and says, hey, I got this 1966 Chevy Caprice that needs its windows tinted. And I'm like, oh my God, you are 2 hours away from me. I don't want to deal with that.
Right.
So then I enter that job on Tintwork. And then Tintwork just finds a tinter essentially in that area, more or less.
Yeah.
And then I suppose I get notified when a tinter accepts that job. And then as far as pricing goes, do some tinters charge different rates, or how does that work? Or is it just
everyone in the Tintwork agrees to a wholesale price. Now, when we're talking about Tesla Model 3s and classic cars, like what you're talking about, obviously there's going to be exceptions to the rule. But the majority of the jobs, when anybody joins the Tintwork, they agree to those standard rates. And then there's a service fee, naturally, in order to afford the app, there's a service fee then that's attached to that. So for 99% of the vehicles out there, you're already going to know ahead of time what it's going to cost you. And then you just add $50, $100, whatever you can get away with.
Yeah, we got one customer, he charges $1,000 for Model 3 Teslas. And then, we got wholesale. So we like, man, this guy making more than us.
It's crazy.
And I'm like, wow.
If he's making money, there's nothing wrong with making money. So
he sit back, he can make him $1,000 a day, and you just sit back and, just use the Tintwork.
Yeah.
All right.
He loves it.
Nice. All right. So tell me how the money works. Does the money go through Tintwork as far as the customer paying? Yeah,
it depends. So every member has to keep a minimum $200 reserve. And so it's, like a little buffer, So if the customer wants to pay with cash, say they want to pay $180 cash, and the tinter is only getting $110 of it, they're immediately going to owe us $70. So then that gets taken out of their reserve, so that we don't have to chase them down the second they're done going, where's my $70?
Right.
So
it costs you $500 to chase that 70 down.
Right. Yeah. So then, say, the Tintwork cost is 40, so then, you know, the referrer is going to make 30 immediately. As soon as that job ends, boom, that goes into the referrer's reserve for their portion.
Got it. Okay.
You know, so then you can cash out anytime you want, just like Venmo.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's held in there, and then you can click a cash out button for it to go into your account.
Okay.
It's same with us. You know, you can either keep it in there, which we encourage, especially the tinters, to keep more than a $200 reserve, because just 2 cars could burn through their reserve.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, you know, and then if their reserve falls below 100, they're not allowed to do any more cars until they get it back up. Because we don't want them getting in the weeds.
Yeah.
You know,
Gotcha.
we don't want them taking money and running.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Awesome.
we have those things in place. So it's really better for them to, you know, keep higher.
Yeah, some of the tenants use it for as a bank account. But Pam had to call and say, take some of this money out of here. We got they want $2,500, $3,000 in now.
Oh, funny.
You better get some of this money out of here.
Yeah, I just had to call someone today. I'm like, do you know your reserves like over $1,000 now? You want some money this week? oh yeah, okay. I mean, it's great. It's great that they trust us, and that, you know, that they don't worry about it, you know, but it does fluctuate like that. They know sometimes they leave it in there because they know next week it could be all cash, and they could just end up getting all of that in cash from the customer. So, you know, they just figure, we'll just leave it in there. It's easier. But either way.
Yeah, and then at this point, they get you know, like we was talking about our window tint brand now. All the guys that's in the app, all our tinters that's in the app, they get a super discount on ceramic film.
Oh, nice.
You know, so they getting a like if somebody, like we know companies that charge $400, $350, $500 for ceramic film, and we charge probably $100. We give it to them $100 cheaper, $150 cheaper. So that's extra money that they can be making.
Yeah, we want them to maximize their profits. Like all of the prices for tint, you know, because I also have to make sure that whatever film the tinters are using are, you know, good quality.
Yeah,
you know, so I'm vetting all of these companies right now, finding out,
it's perfect segue. I was going to ask you about vetting tinters instead of like, I don't know, just some guy being like, yeah, sure, I can tint. I got a hair dryer and a spatula. I don't know. I can probably figure it out.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, we've had some people. Remember that guy when we had the shop? He was like, oh, yeah, I got 2 years experience. And then he goes up to the other guy. He goes, does this go on the inside or the outside?
Oh, no.
He can take it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we're like, get out of here.
Door's right there.
Yeah, it was terrible. But yeah, I'm vetting all of the manufacturers right now to make sure that, you know, if a tinter joins and they say I use XYZ brand, I need to know that it's a certain quality.
Got it.
So there's certain lines that, you know, different manufacturers are going to have that are not going to qualify. So bare minimum, the carbon line, you know, or carbon, we use it in kind of quotes just because it may not technically be carbon, but our standard line has to have a lifetime warranty against peeling, bubbling, and turning purple. Doesn't have to be fading.
Purple. And then that reminds me of the 80s.
Yeah. We don't want it, you know, there's some lines out there that, you know, turns purple in a year, you know, and we don't want to be dealing with the cheap junk. You know, we want to keep a certain standard, you know, for the tint work, so that, you know, people feel comfortable sharing jobs back and forth because it's their company on the line. So we all have to stick with those standards. So so yeah, we're working with that right now. But you know what I'm finding with all, they're charging so much, and their rates now are going up and up. Yeah,
because of shipment. They say, well, we got to charge extra $50 or $30 because of shipment. I'm like, oh, I said, we got to figure out something to help these guys, because they run out of film, then they got to go pay $400 or $450 or $300 for a whole box of film. So we say, okay, well, we've been blessed, you know, we made the income, so let's just get a lot of film without, you know, just make it happen. You know?
All right.
So Tintwork members are going to get, you know, even cheaper pricing than, you know, but I mean, anybody can buy it, but you know, we're going to definitely give even deeper discounts to the Tintwork members, just to, you know, help encourage them all to just be part of the team.
And it sounds like the savings that they would get from the film would more than pay for utilizing Tintwork.
Oh gosh,
math is correct. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The profit margins are fantastic for tinters. Like all the guys in our app, you know, we watch and we get so excited. We see how much money they make.
Yeah,
they can easily make $100 grand a year.
Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
You know, I mean, yeah. So if there's anybody watching this that's thinking, oh, I might want to go into the industry. Yeah. Come on out here. We'll teach you. You know, yeah, it's a slam dunk. You know?
All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Let me ask you the difference between the ceramic tint and the carbon tint. Because I'm just a dude. I've had vehicles tinted, but outside of the windows being darker and achieving what I want achieved. Yeah. I couldn't tell you what they put on there.
Yeah.
So just for the listeners and the viewers, just tell us, I guess, foundationally, what is the difference between the carbon and ceramic?
You have some heat lamps people try to use the heat lamps and show percentage of heat rejection.
All right.
You know, shade plays a lot to do with it. Darker you go, it's going to have higher heat rejection regardless. You know, all tint has 99% UV protection. We know that. But like they got a new type of film called nano ceramic. You know, it's made out of polyester film along with the glue, and everything is together. You know, the glue, the dye, and everything together. So it gives it a better heat rejection type film. So
that's 20%.
The average customer don't know. The company has to be honest. You know, the company has to be honest now because the heat lamps, even though you put the ceramic and carbon there, you feel the difference, but it still doesn't give you a true value of the heat rejection, because we know the rays from the sun has different types of rays. That hit the skin, the UV rays and R and all this different types of stuff.
Yeah.
When I'm testing film, I'm actually holding it up to the sun. I have sensitive skin, so I'm holding it up, direct sun rays, feeling on my face. Yeah.
So is the idea that ceramic is generally better than carbon?
Oh, way better. Yeah. And usually it's better clarity as well.
All right.
You know, it's kind of like comparing HD to 4K TV, you know?
All right.
So, you know, around here, especially, I would say, gosh, maybe 80% of our customers just upgrade to ceramic?
Yeah, they do. A lot of customers upgrade to ceramic. So we got a good sales team here.
Yeah. Right. Once we explain it, once we explain the difference.
Break it down, tell them, tell them the reasons and stuff like that. You know, the lifetime warranty, love lifetime warranty, bubbling, peeling, fading, and turning purple, peeling, blue failure. They like saying, okay, thumbs up. And they know we're an honest company. We got a lot of reviews.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews.
Nice.
You know, we get people like get mad at us because we can't make it to them. You know, they're like, oh, I called, and you know, we might get an hour behind, 30 minutes behind, because we have to. Each customer means something.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important to us. You know,
so. Yeah, but even in the office, customers will get mad if we cannot come out to them that day or the next day. Like,
wow,
we need more tinters.
This is an emergency tint.
Yeah, they act like it's like, like they're gonna die if they don't get it done before 4th of July.
I'm going to Vegas, man. I need it now. I'm going to Vegas. I need it. I'm like, oh my God.
Even during the pandemic, I mean, it was just, we didn't really slow down. I mean, and especially when those first stimulus checks came, they treated tint like it was a necessity. Yeah. Like
that's awesome.
You know, like that.
You need to eat? No, we need tint.
We need tint. Yeah.
We don't want people seeing us eat.
Yeah, exactly.
That is funny. Oh, different world. Different world. So is the ceramic tint easier to work with, or is it about the same as the carbon?
Well, it can be the same. It can be the same. An experienced tinter, it's easy for experienced tinter. Okay. An amateur tinter, it might be something different, but experienced tinter, he can get in there and knock it right out. You know, it's a 2-ply film, which is they got carbon as a 2-ply film too. Like my wife says, some carbon film can be hazy because what it's made out of. Now the clearest film that they make is dyed film, because the glue is all mixed in with the dye, so that can be a really clear. But the only problem with that, it can turn purple quickly. They give 2 warranties with that.
That's the year stuff that some manufacturers have that, you know. Yeah. So it's not worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it. So we try to stay on the high quality side, you know, because we get a lot of customers calling. I mean, a lot of phone calls. So we can kind of pick and choose what we want.
All right. What have been some of the challenges that you guys had to deal with this app that you didn't necessarily anticipate when you put it together?
I had no idea it was going to take this long. I mean, we worked on it for Well, yeah, but as far as working with our coder,
yeah.
I think it was almost 2 years before the first one launched.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was a long time. Yeah, because you got bugs, man. You got like bugs like crazy now. So one function like might take over the other function that might not function properly. You know, you got some coders and web designers that can make stuff look beautiful, but the functions don't work.
Oh.
The functions don't work. But
that's
this
a good-looking car with no engine. All right.
Yeah, exactly. This coder, he know what he's doing. He's a real nice guy. Because me and Pam been, we can deal with other people in the website business. Oh, it works. It's beautiful. Push this button and we still and nothing. It's not linking to anything. It's not linking. So So it just take a long time because it's a humongous app.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a humongous app, especially on the admit side. The admit side, we have recording, we have everything. I mean, tracking systems, everything. So
yeah, I can see, where a tinter's at.
Driving, we have all
so someone's
that stuff.
freaking out going, is he on his way? Is he on his way? With the click of a button, we can say, oh yeah, he's right around the corner from you. He's at da-da-da and da-da-da.
Yeah.
He'll
So
be
you
there
got
in 2 minutes.
GPS on this.
Yeah, we have all that stuff on that.
Okay, so you can be like, hey, he's 2 blocks away, settle down, add a light.
Exactly. Yeah. It saves time instead of having to call, the tinter, and then they're like, oh, I don't know, I think I'm close, I'm at it's like that just takes too long. So yeah, as long as they're using the app, then we can see.
All right.
So it's the details, I mean, if I wasn't so detail oriented, then I probably wouldn't have taken as long. But there's just so many aspects and little tiny details that we've just learned the hard way that if you plan ahead of time and you get all of that information ahead of time, you save yourself a whole lot of headache.
I bet.
If the tinter knows exactly what they're walking into, with the whole scenario, then you can prevent, potential mistakes, like if they don't have a garage. We look the day before, we watch the hourly weather report for that specific city.
Yeah.
And we check it ahead of time.
That's
and
manual?
Yeah, we manually do that to try and prevent, because everybody loses money if they get there and then it's too windy and then that tinter
is like, what the heck? They don't got no garage. The car's sitting in the parking lot at a grocery store. So they just monitor everything for us, make it easy.
So we really try and always be 3 steps ahead, in the office. I have 2 full-time people plus me, and I'm trying to get another person in the office as well, just to make sure that we really take care of everybody and try and plan and prevent as much as possible, so that the guys are rock stars. We're their managers, so we just want to make everything as easy for them as possible, because they're the ones breaking their backs and
their
butts off outside and like they're the ones with the massive skill that we need to protect and take care of.
So where are the people that use Tintwork, the companies that use Tintwork, where are they located? Is it more or less West Coast, or does it go beyond that?
Yeah, right now we're in the greater Los Angeles area. So it's, all of the city and then the suburbs, like all the suburbs surrounding and all of that. Even as far as Palm Springs, we've got some people out there. And then Las Vegas is the other market.
All right.
We're building right now. And we'll expand.
But in the app itself, we're not covering the areas. We almost have almost 300 installers in the app
that are asking for it in their area.
They want it in their area.
We don't have the time. We don't have the resources. So that's why probably in about a year we'll franchise.
All right. Tell me what the limitation is, or what let's say the largest limitation.
The biggest thing is sorry, I didn't answer your question before about vetting the tinters. Yeah, because anybody can say they can tint, but we personally need to see their work. We'll book a job. We personally, every single installer that has joined the app, we have personally met them on a job, watched them do the job, looked at their work, and made sure that they're good. Now, if somebody joins and they have like a ton of 5-star reviews or something, then, we may, skip that process. But a lot of tinters that are joining the Tintwork, they don't have those SEO skills. They, they don't even, like one of the last guys that joined, he doesn't even have a Facebook.
Yeah.
Like he's got not technologically.
He's normally worked at a
like,
shop. You know, they don't teach you how to be your own, you know, the boss and all that.
Yeah. And so
I've been working for a guy, making him rich.
Yeah,
I might as well go off on my own.
Exactly.
And what do you mean you need to know about business to do that?
Yeah. And it's hard. It's hard to manage all of that, you know, for a guy to branch out on his own and have to learn. I mean, that took us years of, I mean, YouTube is an amazing resource, you know, but hours and hours and hours for us to really learn, you know, all of that stuff about business, every aspect of it, and talk about. Yeah. So, and then it's a long time, and then trying to answer the phone and give quotes while you're tinting a car.
If only there was a company that could help them with that, right?
Yeah.
Funny. Interesting. So do you have certain locations that are on the roadmap for targeting as far as cities that you're going after, or is it just see where the quality tinters are? Because I imagine it makes more sense to go after metro areas.
Right. Yeah. Major cities, you know, yeah, definitely. Once we franchise, then we're going to reach out to everybody who's already signed up and then let them know about the opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, say, hey, if you want to have, you know, Tintwork Chicago or Tintwork Houston, you know, then this is what it would entail, and you can start it. And we've got all the resources and the training on, you know, how to run everything and all of that, and then have them do it. But there's just no way that I can manage the entire country.
Yeah, so everything is covered. We trademark, everything is covered, which is good.
All right.
You know, so that when we do start, because that's the first thing, Frank, they ask you when you're franchising, you know, we have to do this for you, this for you, this for you. So we set up, but we just trying to figure out the bugs in terms of, because we want our franchisees to be successful. Yeah. We don't want to sell them a franchise. Next thing you know, they having a hard time. So we just we putting together a manual, almost like a book. Step by step.
Yeah, we work out all the kinks first, and so then any issues that come up, it's most likely we've dealt with it, and this is how we fixed it. And you know,
systematize everything. That's the rule.
Yeah,
that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
So, are you guys still operating a tint? I guess locally by you guys, or is it exclusive Tintwork stuff that you're just sending out and pulling the strings on that puppet?
Yeah, well, we're feeding the Tintwork, you know, jobs that we're getting from our listing, like Tint LA and Ad Outlook window tinting services and all of that. So
tinting services, Google, Yo.
Yeah,
you know, we got a gang of stuff coming in. We have a quick quote on our website. We got a lot of websites up.
Oh, very cool.
They do quick quotes. So the quick quotes go to email. Then the email feeds. We feed the app through the information through the email. So we just there all day long.
Yeah,
we got our phone on. We got our phone on silent right now.
Yeah, but we're seeing it like lighting up.
You'll be hearing Tintwork. So we got it on silent.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good problem. I love it. I love it. Tell me how, if I was a tinter, how would I get a hold of you to try to get either on the waiting list or to get connected with Tintwork?
Well, a lot of information is on our website, tintwork.com. So Tintwork, you know, so tintwork.com. They can download the app. It's available for both iOS and Android, you know, and then, but there's not too much, you know, once they sign up, then, you know, they don't get any more information than that until we approve them. They can't immediately start, oh, I want this job and this job. And
right.
Everything.
I have a hairdryer and a smile. I can make anything happen.
Right. Hairdryer and a smile. Love it.
Exactly.
I bet.
So, but there's a lot of information, on our website. So that's usually where I direct people first is, you know, okay, the terms and conditions are on there, you know, all the information. And then their vote for, you know, to get in their area essentially is signing up for the Tintwork.
All right. So once you get enough of them.
Exactly.
You need more than one.
Right. Yeah. So that's going to help us then decide, you know, which areas we want to try and, you know, push first is depending on, oh, wow, we got a lot. And, you know,
and my wife doing instructional videos. That's her background.
All right.
So she's doing instructional videos, so they can click on instructional videos, and it'll give them instructions on how the app is operated.
Yeah, how to use the app and all that. It's really easy. I mean, everyone's been able, I mean, even our guys that aren't techie, you know, have real easy. So
all right. So if I understand this correctly, if I was a guy that was working at a place doing tint and I wanted to go off on my own,
yes,
as long as I get in a city that you guys are working on and I get signed up with Tintwork, I wouldn't necessarily have to worry about marketing and all that other more or less businessy stuff, for lack of a better phrase.
yeah,
As long as I'm good at tint and doing what I do,
yeah,
I'll be getting work through Tintwork and I can just work my magic that way.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. If a tinter was good and they were in the LA area and they called me right now, like as soon as we're done with this interview and signed up, then we would probably say, hey, what are you doing in an hour?
Do you have any jobs coming in?
Oh yeah, we're turning down 5 to 10 jobs a day.
Easy.
Like we
Oh my gosh.
more tinters. Yeah.
And the only reason we turned down that few job because we had to seize a little bit of our advertisement. Once we cut the knobs back up, we getting them 150 calls a day, easy.
Wow.
So we had to cut the knobs down a little bit because people getting angry at us.
All right.
Because we can't be there. Or you need to get more people, or you need to do this. They keep trying to tell us how to run our business, customers.
Oh my God! Everybody's got business advice, whether they've had a business or not, right?
Right?
Let me tell you how you should do it.
Yeah. Or they tell us, oh, but this car is easy. You can squeeze this in. Oh, well, if it's easy, you do it.
That's funny. Just paint them.
Right?
That's funny.
I just text him an emoji.
That's awesome. That is super cool. Well, Pam and Paul, thank you so much for being on the show. Tell us that website one more time, if you don't mind.
Tintwork.com. So Tintwork, tintwork.com.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you guys so much for being on the show. You guys are in the LA area. So if there's tinters around there that want to jump and start their own gig, or if they already have their own gig and they want to get some more work, Pam and Paul are there to help them out. Essentially is what it comes down to, right?
Yeah. And Las Vegas and Palm Springs area. Yeah.
Got it.
But LA is the busiest. Los Angeles is the busiest.
Cool. Soon to be the world.
Yeah.
I love it. This has been Authentic Business Adventures, the business program that brings you the struggle stories and triumphant successes of business owners across the land. We are underwritten locally by the Bank of Sun Prairie. If you're listening to this on the web, which you probably are, please be us a huge solid. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and of course, share with all your entrepreneurial, especially your tint friends. My name is James Kateman, and Authentic Business Adventures is brought to you by Calls on Call, offering call answering and receptionist services for service businesses across the country, on the web at callsoncall.com, as well as Draw In Customers Business Coaching, offering business coaching services for entrepreneurs looking for growth, on the web at drawincustomers.com. And of course, the Bold Business Book, a book for the entrepreneur in all of us, available wherever fine books are sold. We'd like to thank you, our wonderful listeners, as well as our guest, Pam and Paul from Tintwork. Pam and Paul, if you could do me a huge favor and tell me that website one more time.
Tintwork.com.
It's almost too easy, right?
I know, right?
Tintwork.com.
Past episodes can be found morning, noon, and night at the podcast link found at drawincustomers.com. Thank you for listening. We will see you next week. I want you to stay awesome. And if you do nothing else, enjoy your business.